Now is the third studio album by English rock band Oasis. It was released in 1997. The album was recorded at multiple recording studios in London, including Abbey Road and Ridge Farms Studio in Surrey. My God.
Mm.
Although most tracks retain the anthemic quality of previous releases, the songs on Be Here Now are longer and contain many guitar overdubs. Noel Gallagher said this was done to make the album sound as colossal as possible.
Mm.
It is the last Oasis studio album to feature founding members Paul Bonehead Arthurs and bassist Paul Gigsy
I
McGigan.
don't know. Oh, is it? I thought they stuck around for another one, but sure, carry on.
The
Sorry to
two
interrupt.
left in 1999.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's my summary of Be
It's your
Here Now.
summary of that album. Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you feel? Just peek behind the beef curtain for our listeners. Most of the time, episodes are chosen by the host and given to the other host being myself and young Daniel here, who just did that spectacular intro. And we try and, surprise each other, whether it's a movie choice or an album choice, and, maybe pick something that the other one might not have seen or listened to. But generally, we have fairly similar music tastes. So when it comes to larger bands, we try and pick their shittest album if they've got a lot of albums. And
Do we?
I think it's, well, I don't know. There's a bit of a pattern of that. We don't pick Nevermind. We pick Bleach, and we don't pick. That's the only example I've got off the top of my head, because I'm not a fan of this podcast. I'm in it, but I'm not a fan.
We picked Metallica and we did the Black Album. That was like the big seller.
Yeah, and how many listens has that episode had? Like 11?
I think the counter broke on the YouTube.
Yeah, sure. It went up too fast, so they had to stop the counter.
I had to
but yeah,
a
look,
little bit so that the internet would work. So many listens, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're doing Oasis and Be Here Now. We're present. We're in the moment.
We're present. We're in the moment. And when I think of Oasis, I think of dodging bullets a little bit like Neo in the Matrix, right? I remember when Oasis first came out. What was their first album called? Definitely Maybe. Is that it? Something like that. I don't know. I remember hearing a few of the songs on the radio and going, oh,
probably.
That's pretty good. Oh, they're supposed to be the new Beatles. Oh, I love the Beatles. Oh, I should listen to these guys. But I didn't. I thought about it, almost bought a record and then didn't. And I've never really been an Oasis fan since. I've got some good tunes. And
I thought you're huge.
No.
You're always buying Oasis albums and you follow, what
I've got the
Gallagher's
haircut.
album.
I've got the haircut. I wear the glasses.
You've got a Liam Gallagher album, haven't you? What's this fucking band called?
I don't fucking know. No, I don't have a Liam Gallagher album, you cunt.
What is something?
Like
that?
No, that's Noel Gallagher, the high flying puffs does. Yeah.
What's Liam's band?
Liam? I don't know, the Liam Lickers or something.
The Smelly Wankoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. The Filthy Cunts. Yeah.
That's right. Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Liam's Filthy Cunts. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, they're this big thing. They're a big band. They're world renowned. But I don't think, I've off and on liked them. I bought this album on cassette years later, just on a whim. So I was aware of this album, but I knew it wasn't their best. What's the Story? Morning Glory was the huge one for them, all the big hits.
The big sophomore effort. Number 2.
Yeah, Wonderwall and fucking, all that shit. Big hits. Don't Look Back in Anger. Big band, but never one that I listen to on the regular, you know? And I figured you'd fucking hate Oasis. I don't know. What's your Oasis history?
They came out and I couldn't believe they were popular. To be honest, I was heard the songs and thought this is so retro kind of rock blues.
Uh-huh.
Um, the
Very
lead
strummy.
guitar, I always thought, fuck, I could do that.
Yeah.
Being a guitar player, I would listen to
Just
it was just like so middle of the road and average.
yeah.
They write a
Um
catchy song,
yeah.
but I just didn't. They surprised me how big they were. I was just reading
Right.
tonight. This sold 8 million records.
Yeah. And it's their it's fair to say this is their worst album. And 8 million.
Although,
That's
didn't they do "Standing on the Shoulder of Giants"?
Yeah, I that one's
But
not that one's better than this one. I can tell you that much.
but it was downhill from there, wasn't it? Like it was downhill
No,
from.
I think they've just stayed happily mediocre within their fan base since
Yeah.
then. You know, like no more world busting hits, but their fans still love them. So their albums all, I think they all sold well until they broke up. You know.
You know what I never understood was the Beatles
Hmm.
references. Like the most they've got in common with the Beatles is they came from the same island.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, and they played
That's about
instruments.
it.
Yeah.
They've
They
been in
played
a band.
instruments.
Yeah, they've been in a
Yeah.
band,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound. It's not nearly as creative
No.
as it's very predictable stuff. Not
But
just I
it's
was reading, not just the arrangements of verse, chorus, middle eight, chorus, chorus. It's just it's always going to do a little blues guitar lick in between the
mhm.
lines. It's always, I mean, there's not a lot of experimentation with sound.
No, but they're there to be the as Noel said, be the biggest fucking band in the fucking world, mate. You know, like
It's just the
and
British like playing the game, like everything.
maybe
Mr. Blobby's the biggest thing ever. Spice Girls, the
Mr.
biggest thing ever.
Blobby. Yeah,
Oasis, biggest thing ever. Like the most influential band in the world. You got the Verve. You got
yeah,
Radiohead, whatever they were.
yeah. Oh God, the Verve was shit, weren't they? God, fuck the Verve. I'm a lucky
Fucking annoying.
man. Jesus. Yeah, I'm glad that cunt got sued by the Rolling Stones and lost all his money.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Like, they could write a catchy tune. They've got all the strummy chords, and you can write a sing-along melody that the Wembley Stadium's going to sing along to. It's all real basic stuff. And you're like, Noel's always playing the open chords. And then what's the other guitar? Bonehead, the bald guy. He always played the power chords, right? So that was them. Power chords here, open chords there, simple drumming. Liam singing through his nose, right? Like he's got some attitude. Um,
very, very nasally. Yes.
yeah, and then the guitar solo would come, and honestly, if you were 7 years old and had just started learning the guitar, you could play Oasis solos. I think pretty,
Yeah.
especially on this album. Holy
Kind of.
fuck, there's some shit guitar work on this record.
Hey,
Like,
Liam, I know one pentatonic shape.
yeah,
I'll just do that for every album,
yeah,
shall I?
yeah.
Why learn two more notes?
Liam, I don't fucking care what fucking key or what chords you're playing. I'm playing these fucking notes in the solo, mate. I don't give a shit. That's not the right accent, but
Hmm.
it'll do.
How about I just go dee doo dee doo dee dee doo dee doo dee on the same four notes every
Oh,
song?
wait. No, could you do a hammer on and then a pull off
No, no, I won't.
and just a horrible, horrible digital tone, please?
I can do that.
And then maybe a little bend. Holy fuck, it's painful. Like the song that stands out for awful guitar work is Stand By Me, right? I remember that being all over music TV, real shitty video. I don't know, there's like a motorcycle crash or something. But like the little lead, the little lick thing that he plays over the intro, I don't even think those the right notes. I don't think he's even. I think he's just high on fucking cocaine, playing whatever he wants.
Yeah, I remember being in Polytech when
Mm.
this album came out, and I remember it was like the countdown to the first single from the Oasis song, and I thought that was one of those moments where I was surprised. Like, does anyone fucking care? Like, is it that
Mm.
big of a deal? Like, I don't.
Mm.
They did the countdown. I was like waiting for 24 hours for the song to come on, and then it came on, and they played the opening signal. Signal. What was this? What's the first song called?
Oh, do you know what I
You know what I
mean?
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And they played the video, and I thought, oh, he's playing a flying V. That's actually pretty cool. And then
Uh-huh.
the song played, and I went, sounds like Oasis. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they played it again. I think they played it 3 times in a row. And then a few weeks later, and then after they did that, the presenters were sitting there going, "Wow, oh, can you believe it?" A few weeks later, same presenters went, as soon as we heard the opening notes, we knew something was wrong. Like they changed their tune. Like, this is the shittest thing that ever happened, or what happened. This isn't, expectations were not met.
Yeah.
I thought sounded a bit like Oasis to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, chucking this thing on in the car, going for a drive, and I hadn't listened to it since, I don't know, probably the late 90s, maybe early 2000s at best, as a whole. And I think that, do you know what I mean? Kind of, I won't say it's a great song, but it holds up as a song from that time, from 97. I remember it coming out. It's a little, there's a little nostalgia there. It's not a song I was a fan of, but I remember the video and, so it was, I was start off, I was feeling good. It's like, all right, this is Oasis. See how this goes. Because I knew deep down in my heart, I picked this because of the absolute banger that comes later in this album. And it's the only banger that I think is on this record. And I've lost my train of thought there. So shut the
It
fuck
got
up,
quite
you dumb
boring.
cunt.
I stopped listening as well.
I'd stopped listening to myself. And
You know what pissed me off?
what's
And
that?
I mean, everybody knows that I'm woke and that I've long been a friend of the gay community.
Sure,
But
yeah. Okay,
but
stop digging another hole. Carry on.
Tim
Yeah.
Cook can just go fuck himself. Like, because when I went and looked this up on Apple Music, instead of getting the album, you get fucking the Supermaster Deluxe release with about 50 songs on it.
All right.
I wasn't sure when this thing was ending or beginning, this album. I am
Okay.
Tim Cook. I know you're gay, but go fuck yourself. Like, this is
Who's
fucking
Tim? Who's
bullshit.
Tim Cook?
Just
Is
let
he the
us have.
producer?
He's running Apple because
Ah,
I'm listening to Apple Music. So like, can we just get the album and then have the option to
yeah.
get the super deluxe mega
Well, they do
edition? I
that.
just
You know,
go.
you've just got to pick the right one. Like you
I
get
did.
in
I
utero
don't
super
have it on
deluxe.
Apple Music. I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Yeah, homosexual cunt. Fuck's sake. And it's not
Oh
because you're
well.
gay, but it's just that you are gay and a cunt.
It's
Fuck you
it's
too,
not
mate.
because you're gay, but you use that term, a homosexual cunt. I think
Yeah.
putting those two words together may cause some offence,
Oh,
but it's not me that said it.
we
So
can't call them a bundle of sticks anymore, can we? I mean,
no, we can't. We can't. That's only
bundle of
for
sticks.
if you want to start a fire. You got to rub. You
Yeah.
got to rub. You got to rub two sticks together. You've got to dock two stick tips together.
This album is like 70 minutes long. What the fuck is going on? I couldn't get
Yeah,
through the son of a bitch. I
yeah.
just got
It's
fucking
on it.
bored.
Honestly, it's it's one of those albums where I think the record company said, take all the fucking money you want, Gallagher Brothers, and we don't give a fuck. Take all the studio time you want and come out with your masterpiece. And they spent most of their money on fucking, you know, the white fairy dust that they snorted up their nose and booze and hookers and bundles of sticks, etc. And created this wonderful bloated piece of crap. And even Noel, have you ever seen where he reviews all the Oasis videos on the DVD? They put out the greatest hits DVD, and he does a audio commentary over the music videos. You ever seen that?
No, I don't really
Oh
care
fuck! I
enough
have
to
to.
watch.
I have to send you a link because he's just like, oh fucking hell! Oh, what the fuck were we thinking? Oh, this is fucking shit. Oh, that's fucking crap. Look at what they were. He's Scottish. Look at what they were, and he's just bagging out Oasis, and it's actually quite funny. Oh fuck me! What
He
were we
is
thinking?
he is honest. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah, like a good politician. And look, he can write a catchy tune, but he wasn't doing it here. He was too, yeah, he was too far up his own ass, really. But
Well,
look, I'm,
I was reading tonight, and I was surprised how much drug use was going on. Like reading, it
mm,
was basically kind of like they're all on high as fuck on cocaine. And apparently, someone came into the studio to check on them, and apparently the producer was the worst one. He was high as fuck, as he was higher than all of them
yeah.
on
Well, it's not.
cocaine. They were Liam got arrested at an airport for cocaine and
Mm-hmm.
warned. The band was on the verge of breakup. They said they shouldn't have recorded the album. They should have given themselves a year off and then come back and done it. And they said it would have been a better thing. But they were
Oh
arguing,
yeah,
and Liam was taking off and not going on tour because he had to buy a house with the wife and things like
mm,
that.
yeah.
Liam
A
left.
lot of
Noel left the band apparently for a few weeks and then returned.
turbulence. A lot of
Yes.
turbulence. Yeah, a lot of brotherly love there. Uh but out of that turbulence, and in the midst of this shit album, I remember music television in '97 being full of the. Is it 10 minutes? I don't know. What's
All around the
the
world
music
was like
video?
9 minutes.
All around the world. I remember that being on all the time, and for some reason, that's the song that got its hooks into me, man. I fucking loved that song when it was out back then, and that's why I bought the cassette tape, and that's why I picked it for this week's listen because I wanted to hear that song again, and
Did you get bored of it?
I fucking did.
Yeah, that song. When that came out, I think it was like the last single. I was like, oh, I quite like that song, and the music video was really cool.
Yeah, it was like a trippy yellow submarine shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd spent some money on it. It wasn't them sitting strumming guitars around a pool like they usually
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and when it came on, I started listening. Oh yeah, I like the song. I remember that. And then it's just, fuck me.
It overstays its welcome. It overstays its welcome. Like it could have been a real. I mean, like if you even fucking Hey Jude, which they're pretty obviously ripping off, uh, it's 7 minutes long, right? And those extra 2 minutes can feel like an eternity when all the lyrics you're listening to are na 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 na. It's not like a bring it together na 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 na. That's how you do it, right? It was harsh and nasal and painful, and they brought trumpets in, and then megaphones, and for fuck's sake, it's
Yeah.
going to be okay.
You know what? I was listening to the album thinking it just sounds weird too. Apparently, they did 10 tracks of guitars just doing the same part over and over
Oh
again,
right.
which isn't how you quite meant to do it. But it just sounded
Mm.
like a big. I was listening to it thinking it just sounds like there's way too much reverb in the background or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that. It's just
yeah,
got this
yeah.
big boomy. It's
Mm-hmm.
not booming, but it just sounds
Yeah, No,
out
you're
of
right.
it.
Like
Sounds
the
dumb.
drums are recorded in this massive room, or it's all room mic'd up. It's tough, and nothing sits quite. It's not mixed well. Like we talk about that guitar tone. It's like well, it's recorded as like when every amateur artist gets their first fucking digital workstation and they record their first demo song and they go, yeah, I can mix. This sounds great. And then years later, you listen back to it and you go, oh, that sounds shit. The guitar, I didn't put any compression on it or whatever. And nothing sits right. That's what this album sounds like. It doesn't sit quite right.
It's got that Oasis mix with the vocals way up front, and then
Mm,
drums are usually very tiny in the background,
yeah. But
and the
if you,
rest
you
is
know, if
just echoing and booming. Oh,
but if you A B it with like What's the Story, Morning Glory, there's some great tracks on that album. That's really, it's well produced, Or you go to the next album, which is the Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. That's a bit Pro Toolsy. It does feel quite digital, but it's at least a balanced mix. Whereas this is fucking weird. All those, it's Noel's guitar solos. He's fucking in there mixing, going, yeah, turn it up, sniffing cocaine off some
yeah,
hooker's fucking butthole, and
yeah.
living the good life with his brother.
Well, they hated each other, and do they talk anymore?
Oh, look, the money will run out, and they'll do a reunion soon. I think Liam, he put out an album, was it last year? This is at the end of 23 for all you cunts listening in the future. Um, I think he put out an album in 22 and toured it, and he started playing Oasis songs himself, and people were loving it. So he was selling out massive venues and singing the Oasis songs because he fucking can, because he's the voice of Oasis, and that's all anybody is ever going to care about. Fuck you, Noel. Um, and Noel's, he can only sing he wrote them all, sure, but he can only really sing the songs that he sung on the records, which is fuck all. So he's never going to have as big a pull as Liam does. Because Liam's the fucking front man.
Yeah, I don't think either of them really done much. They haven't had a lot of impact solo, though, have they?
No, not at all. But for the Oasis fans who are going to stick by these guys until they fucking die, I guess most would pick Liam over Noel. I think
Mm. I
he's
was.
he,
Mm.
well. I was going to say if I had to pick a voice, I think Liam can be annoying and nasally, but at least he's got character. You know?
Yeah, it's a bit having a go for Noel, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah. It is. It is.
Um, I remember watching some kind of video about the history of Oasis on YouTube. It came up. There was a time when YouTube just flooded me with Oasis,
Mm.
and God, people are into this band. Like there was people
Oh
who were
yeah.
just psychotic about the original
Mm-hmm.
demo and stuff, and they sit there listening to it like this. Every note is the most glorious thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah. Oh, they're a
fine.
religion, I think. Oasis, fucking the Brits, they fucking love them, love them. Oh well, good on them.
Well,
Mm.
I guess to sum it up for me, I got through it once, I think.
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell because I
There's
just
50
ended up
songs
turning it
long.
off. There was 50 songs on there.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't quite do it again. I got a
Yeah.
bit way through it. I just fucking did not have a good time with this. There's a couple of songs like Stand By Me, the singles, Stand By Me, Do You Know What I Mean? All Around the World. There's another one. Can't think of it.
Maybe Don't Go Away, but it's a bit lame as
Oh,
well.
I
You
don't
know,
I don't know
I
what it
think that
was,
might
but
have been like the last ditch single.
yeah, I'll look at three. But yeah, I mean, okay, songs, good songs, but like just this needs massive editing and it needed someone to go stop their
Yeah.
bullshit on drugs,
This
basically.
You know what this is? This is Oasis's George Lucas album, where everybody just said, "Yep, yep, George," and the yep, you put those fucking that dancing frog back into Return of the Jedi. Absolutely.
I was gonna
You
say this is like the Showgirls for Oasis. Like it's just a cocaine movie, and this is the
yeah,
cocaine
cocaine
album.
fueled. Yeah, but without all the boobs in it.
Couple of really funny moments in Showgirls.
Well, I think Showgirls has its merits, but it's
Titties,
mostly
yeah.
for
Yeah.
titties. Yeah, and Saved by the Bell titties.
I like the
Uh,
what? Get bigger boobs, lose 5 pounds, and come back next year. I was just roaring in the theater when he said that.
because you're a feminist.
As a feminist, yeah,
As a feminist, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm absolutely right there with you, my friend and co-host. I think this album is poor, and it has three songs that would have been really outstanding on any other Oasis album. I think better produced, etc., etc. And it's the same three as the singles. Do you know what I mean? And that's only because it's got a bit of attitude and groove.
Mm.
Um,
So
all
Liam,
around the world.
Liam said this is his favorite album, and Noel said
Oh,
this album sucked. I read before.
wow, really? I never.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, I don't know. I think all the songs in between are instantly forgettable and painful. Like I remember when I bought again the cassette tape. Uh, I'd never really pay attention to the songs in between, and when I got to All Around the World, that was it. I just had that on forward and back rewind, um, in the car before it got chewed and it ended up as a discarded cassette with a fucking tape octopus hanging out its ass. Uh,
Beautiful.
but yeah,
Thank you
beautiful.
for that
Three
image.
songs. Stand By Me was the other one. You remember that when the roadsides were covered in dead carcasses of cassettes with their intestines hanging out?
Not really.
Like,
Mm.
you don't? Oh, fucking out. Would you have an 8-track in your car or some shit?
I
You had to
remember
get
I
the.
had a portable CD player. I'd sit on my leg, and I'd have a cable running into the aux on the stereo, something like that. And then I had a little
Nice.
power thing, another power cable going into the cigarette lighter to keep it going.
Yeah, and don't bump it. Don't go over bump. Let's skip.
I
Yeah.
was I was Flash back then. Like
Then you thought you were
Flash
cool
cunt. He's
though,
got a
because
CD player in the car.
yeah,
Fucking hell.
you bought that cool CD player that had the 30-second skip buffer, whatever you
Yeah,
called it.
yeah.
Yeah. And then do you remember when we used to fool our car stereos into thinking that it was playing a tape, but it wasn't. It was just that fucking tape adapter that was connected to your CD player or your iPod in the later years.
I remember that didn't sound very good. Like it sucked half the sound out of the
Yeah.
recording. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
for
that's the
shit.
things we did back then before we had streaming and off satellites in our car.
Jesus. We used to
Yeah.
I remember the big purchase was we all bought our iPods. This is when I was in the States. And it's like, oh, fuck yeah, we got iPods and you can put 30 albums on it. But then when we road trip, we had multiple vehicles and you could buy these like radio frequency transmitter things that you'd plug into the middle car's iPod. And then all three could tune into the radio frequency so we could all listen to the same thing.
That was shit as well, though. It sucked half the sound out.
They were
Yeah.
shit as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho. So look, man, rate this motherfucker. We've made it towards the end of the episode. I think Noel and Liam have come out pretty clean here. We haven't dug too deep into the history. We've kept it all about the music.
Remember when people had like a 50 CD changer in the boot of their car and you'd
Oh
look at it
yeah.
and go, how does that work? My God, my mind is blown. What?
Yeah. And in the front you'd have all the buttons and you go, oh, I'm gonna listen to CD 27. And then it would you'd hear it grinding away in the boot, not grabbing the disc, scratching it up. Fucking stupid things.
I was the first person to switch on you could get a CD and you could just put MP3s on it, like 3 megs each.
Mm-hmm.
And you had like 700
Mm-hmm.
megs to put on there. And so you just like hundreds of songs. And then I had a car stereo that played MP3s off the CD rather than burning
Oh
it
fuck!
properly, and just put it on random and go, "Oh my god, I'm like a radio
This
station.
it's never gonna get better than this.
This is it." I
This
was
is the
explaining to
pinnacle.
people how to do it, and they were just like, "What? What?"
Oh my god!
Anyway, I
Yeah.
give this a 2 out of 10. Fuck this fucking album.
Yeah. I'll look. I'm gonna give it a 1.75 out of 10. Just because of that 9 minute long song that never ends.
Yeah, stay off drugs,
Mm.
kids.
Stay off drugs, kids. And if you think you can't play guitar, just listen to this album. And yes, you can. You too can solo like Noel Gallagher.